All right, guys, if you've got a 1999 Chevrolet Suburban Tahoe, Cadillac Escalade, GMC, Yukon Denali, if you've got a 99 and it does not have this piece on the dash above the passenger side airbag, you're missing a recall item. And in this video today, I'm going to take you through how to install that yourself if you never had it done on your vehicle. Stay tuned. All right, guys, let's get right into it, right? So this is a recall component that used to be done by the dealer. It was issued back in January 2nd of 2001, and it was only applicable to 1999 Chevrolet SUVs. Like, so you get the Suburban, the Tahoe, the GMC Suburban, the GMC Yukon, also the Yukon Denali and the Cadillac Escalade, and then some of the pickup trucks that were still running the old body style. And what was indicative about these vehicles is in 1999, right above the passenger side airbag, you had this kind of recessed indentation in the dash. And during crash testing, what they determined is with the dummies, the head could kind of get stuck in here with the chin and result in a neck injury. This is a situation where the airbag did not deploy. So they came in with an insert to prevent that. And back in the day, I turned it down, as I'm sure a lot of other people did. And now you can pick these kind of kits up on eBay. Now that GM, discontinued them and, passed the whole bankruptcy situation a few years ago. And I decided today I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. So basically, these are the vehicles that this recall applied to. And again, they're all just 1999 vehicles from, old body style designs for the interior running in that year. And the part number on the kit that we're going to be doing for this is a 8888, so 4 8s, 8888 0042. And basically what you're going to get in this kit is everything you need to do for the dealer to do this, right? So there would have been a template like this. And basically this template sits right in this recessed area above the airbag, and it's specifically indexed for the dealer technician to position it in the right spot to mark and drill several holes, several 1/4 inch holes, here, 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 and here. And then after that, 3 1/8 inch holes here and here. And when you have all those holes in there, which you'd end up with after you cut off this alignment piece, you'd end up with this piece of trim that matches the charcoal color of the dash and steering column that sits in there like this. So that was the repair to mitigate the safety issue, and then you still have a small area you can put stuff in up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this today. We're going to start with following the instructions. We're going to start with disabling the power, so that since we're in close proximity to the airbag module, for safety reasons, we want to disable that. So we're going to go under the hood and do that now. All right, we're going to go ahead and disable we're going to remove the negative terminal to the battery here on the passenger side to break the power circuit. Now this particular vehicle is a diesel, so even with this one disconnected, you can see that our hood lamp is still on. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the other one too. Now you can probably just take one of them off, but I'm going to do both because I don't want there to be any possibility of any ground circuit connecting up to that airbag. So with that done, you can see our hood light is out, so we know that the power is off. So let's go back inside and resume installing the kit. All right, guys, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some painter's tape. And I'm going to cover up these defroster ducts up here, just so that any drilling debris doesn't get stuck down there. Hopefully that'll stick. It might be. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to be doing is, just since this is the last shot to do it, I'm just going to give a quick clean up here with some Armor All before we actually drill and install this guy. Just to get the dust off from around here, if there's any. All right, and then we're going to position that template that we showed earlier and reading the directions, what it talks about is you've got these two tabs on the front that we want to lip the front of the instrument dash area here. And then we've got a tab here, 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 and here that should basically auto-center this for us. And once we feel like with it down it's centered the correct way, then we're going to take a small Sharpie, and we're interested in marking the 5 holes that are going to be drilled for the 1/4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's what we're going to be marking now. This is definitely one of those measure 3 times before you drill kind of things. And then the next step we're going to do is I'm going to be using like a right angle drill here because we've got the glass in the way, but you might be able to have other things that work for you. And I'm going to put in a 1/4 inch drill bit. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some electrical tape. You can also do this with a piece of heat shrink tubing, and I'm just going to mark myself a little guide here to not go further than we need to go. So we need to mark this guy at 12 millimeters, or roughly a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to eyeball that. Just a little bit less for the amount that we're going to drill in here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure we actually got our 5 marks. So we did. So we have our 5 marks there. And then just to take a break here and show you, so we've gone through disabling the airbag system. We've put some masking tape over the defroster grill to keep debris out. We've centered this plate. They call it a mounting bracket. And we've gone through and located the 5 holes that we need to drill, and we've marked it with a Sharpie. And then the next step that we've got on here that they're talking about, they're pointing out, of course, that your drilling clearance is limited with the windshield, and they're saying, you know, if you don't have a right-hand drill, or excuse me, a right-angle drill, something that GM recommended the dealers is go grab a self-tapping 10 millimeter hex head screw, and they even give you a part number here for that, and just use that screw with a ratchet wrench to make the hole. And then that's another thing you could do, of course. So when we're drilling the holes, we're going to drill only these 1/4 inch holes that we marked, not the 3 smaller ones. And we're going to, you know, use either a drill depth stop or a piece of vacuum hose. In my case, I just used a piece of electrical tape, so I'm going to mark the 12 millimeter mark or the 1/2 inch mark. And that's all you need to do there. So once you remove the bracket, take that 1/4 inch drill or that self-tapping screw if you don't have a drill, and drill those holes, drill those 5 holes. Now after that, what they're going to do is they're going to have us install this mounting bracket with these pins that fit in those 1/4 inch holes. And then after that's in place, we're going to end up clipping off the end of this guy that we use to align it, and we're going to install some smaller bolts at these 3 locations using a 1/8 inch diameter drill bit with the same kind of deal. And then we're just going to tighten those bolts to 9 inch-pounds of torque, or screws rather, and then we're ready to put the actual cover on. And that is, you know, that's the extent of this particular installation, right? So those screws are going to go in there and hold it down, and that would be the end of it. So we're going to go do that now. So I'm going to get ready to do the drilling. We're just going to break for a second here while I move some of this stuff out of my way. All right, guys, just to double check on that 1/2 inch back off. So it shows I've got that. And we're going to go ahead and come up in here. Move some of this stuff out of the way. Catch this guy right here first. Now you're drilling through plastic, so you want to go slow to begin with, and then just back it out once it goes through. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm trying to go super slow so that I don't go too far. And what I can see is even with my drill like this, it's very limited clearance to get in here. So I'm just going to kind of start all of these because I know I'm going to have to block your view to do the rest of them. And then of course we got these ones that are an angle that I don't even think this guy's going to fit in there. So what I might do is I might do GM's little thought of a self-tapping screw to come in and do these other ones, because you can see here, right, I'm hitting the glass with this drill. So it looks like I can only do the middle 3 this way. So I'm going to go try to see if I can find one of those self-tapping screws that they suggest to do the other 2. All right, guys, we've gotten these 3 drilled out okay, as you saw before with the drill. But for this guy over here, I'm going to show you doing this one. What I had to do is start with a smaller drill bit, and then I used the screw approach to kind of make it a little larger. And then just to trim up the edges, I took my 1/4-inch bit and I put it in a manual device here so that I could turn it by hand just to cut that last little bit of roughness off. So let's go ahead and show you what I did there on this side. So just going to come in here with like a 1/8-inch drill bit. Again, we're coming in drilling at an angle here. You want to go slow so that you can control the depth. Just want to go down as far as your tape or your piece of vacuum pipe, whatever you're using to measure off and prevent yourself from going too far. Then I'm going to grab the ratchet wrench here. And we're just going to take this guy and drive him in to make this a little larger. Get him started, then I'll get my hand out of the way and you can see better. Now these, you want to make sure they go in at a little bit of an angle, kind of following the contour of the plastic. Kind of pull these burrs off. You guys get the idea here. You drive this guy all the way in. Sorry, I got to block your view because he's wobbling around on me and I don't want to crack the plastic. There he goes. Just want to get him started so he won't wobble around too much. Now this particular bolt, this is not the one they recommended. It's just a similar type of self-tapping screw. And it's just a little bit longer than a 1/2 inch. So we're not going to go all the way down with this guy. I'm just going to go down a couple more turns, and then we're going to back him out. And then we're going to clean it up with the manual drill bit. All right. Now just like when you're going in, going out, you kind of just want to take your time because these old trucks, this plastic is really brittle. There's a good chance it could crack. You see I'm putting a lot of counter force at the head of the ratchet wrench to prevent any wobbling, because otherwise you could get enough leverage that the plastic would crack with this bolt. All right. Now with that guy done, get some of our debris out of the way. We can get our manual, you know, like old school type drilling in here and just kind of turn it by hand. The problem with this particular chuck is just didn't want to grab onto this guy, so if he hits a piece of hard plastic, it kind of gets stuck on me. But you guys get the idea here. And then you can use this to kind of get all these chunks out of here until you make a nice smooth hole manually. I don't know why he's stuck on me like that though. Wasn't that bad on the other side. Try tightening it up a bit. But yeah, you know, even the smallest, simplest things can sometimes end up being taking a lot longer than you'd like. Just going to kind of tighten this up, see if I can stop it from slipping on us. If not, I'll have to just kind of go it off camera a bit. Yeah, he's just, unfortunately, he's stuck on something there. Oh, there he goes. He finally just cut through it. All right, so now we cut through it. Just kind of go on a couple of times to make sure it's smooth and pull him out. Okay, now what I want to do, just to show you guys that this wasn't just some random placement by GM. They actually picked these holes for a reason. I'm going to take a camera and let you see inside these holes to see that you know, the GM engineers kind of well picked this so that they did not end up putting the technician at the dealership with too much risk of actually hitting the airbag. So we'll just take a look at each one of these. Hopefully you guys can see this on my camera. So you can see down here, there's absolutely nothing on the far left hole. And then if we go to the middle hole, you can see there's nothing. There's the airbag right down there, right? So very far down. Here's the far right hole. Same thing, far down. Now if we take right up on the right-hand side, that one we just did, the angular one, right? We can see we're just looking down into plastic, and we can see the front of the instrument dash. I keep wanting to say instrument cluster, but you guys know I'm talking about the dash. And if we look at the one on the far left at an angle, you see the same thing. So there's plenty of safety clearance that you don't have to worry about actually having hit the airbag there. All right, so at this point, we'll go ahead and mount our bracket. Just kind of give a little bit of a wipe here to get the last of the shavings. And then we're going to put our bracket back in place. And then we're going to go back and look inside the box. And the last thing that we left in the packaging here, rather, was a little bag of fasteners that they provide. And what they wanted us to do with these larger holes was install these push-in pins into those holes. And you've seen these pins. GM uses them in a lot of different places as a fastening device. Basically, the outer housing that I'm pushing in here, it goes into the hole, and then the pin will be pushed in, and that will latch it into place. Got this guy right here, who for some reason didn't seem like he wanted to go in. There he goes. All right. Maybe still a rough edge on that one. That's why I didn't push these pins in case I have to go in and burr that one a little bit. Yeah, there's still a little bit of a rough burr on this one. So I'm going to take this one, then take this off and burr that out so I can get him in to go smoothly like the others, and then we'll pick it up from this point. All right, guys, we got that burr off. We've got these push pins in. Just going to give this last guy a little rubber hammer, get him into position. I'm going to take a pair of wire cutters, and we're going to snip these alignment things off. And then the next thing they want us to do is to come up, and we got these 3 holes here, here, and here. And they want us to come up with a 1/8 inch drill. And they want us to drill into this guy. So there's that one. There's that one. There's that one. And then in our kit, they want us to take, in our kit we've got 3 of these 7mm bolts. They want us to install those 3 7mm bolts in those 3 1/8" holes we just made. There's one more in here. And then after we ratchet these down, we'll be able to get this debris out of here. Now these look pretty long, but again, I'm guessing that, you know, GM understands what the clearance is. A little bit of popping and settling there with the bracket. Try to get my hand out of the way for a little bit there so you can see what's going on. What you have happening here is that the plastic kind of lifts up a little bit as you screw it in there. Sounds concerning, but it's not. Get these little pieces of debris out of here. Put this last guy in. And so what happens is, you know, as the plastic lifts up, these push pins kind of resist it, and you get a little popping sound as it pops back into position. All right, so we've got all of this mounted. So we take a close look here, right? So we've got our 5 push pins, and then we've got our 3 7mm bolts at this point, and we've clipped off the alignment springer. At this point, we're ready to position on the plate, and the plate is held on by the last of the fasteners in the package, which are Phillips screws. Just trying to get them out of here. All right, so I dropped one of them, unfortunately. But you've got 2 short ones and 2 long ones. The short ones go on the end, and the longer ones go on the middle. And what I'm going to try and do is find my small Phillips screwdriver that I had here. And I'm going to try and find out exactly where this goes. So here and here, let me get this out of the way. Here and here are where the small ones go, and then these 2 metal threaded ones are where the longer ones go. So as soon as you get the first one going, I think the others will kind of find their own way. Now on this one I'm trying to go a little slower so we don't scratch anything, because this is the visible fastener. And these little stubbies make pretty good fitment for this application. I think we got this guy quite on the right place, though. It's supposed to be self-tapping, of course, but if you don't have it lined up, it doesn't quite work that way. I think that's where it goes now. Yep, okay. So we got this guy going in. Now, I'm not going to tighten these all the way until we can get both of the middle ones in. So you might have to bring the camera up a little bit to see these. So these I'm going to go ahead and tighten down. And I'm going to go ahead and tighten the left one down. Go ahead and tighten the right one down, and then I'll go ahead and find where on the floorboard we dropped the other long one and put him in there. Okay, and there's the other guy that we dropped. He goes right here. And with that, we are done. So, at this point we can clean up. But not bad, and you know, I probably should have got this done back in the day when it would have been done by the dealer and it wouldn't have cost anything. But I'm glad I did it now. Something I should have done before. That's all you have to do. And again, the part number, I'll roll a link. I'll roll the part number at the bottom of the video, and also put a link in the video description if you're interested in doing this yourself. I hope this educated you on how you can do this. At this point, the only thing left to do is hook the batteries negatives back up and reset the clock on the radio, and we are good to go. If you got questions or comments about how to do this, go ahead and leave them below. Otherwise, think about subscribing, and thanks for watching.